For over 100 years, some of the most powerful men in the world have gathered in this secret grove of redwood trees. And what do they do there? They network, sure, but they also put on plays. And these aren't just any plays. We're talking elaborate, original productions that give us this incredibly rare glimpse into a very, very private world.
It really makes you wonder, right? What kind of stories do these guys tell each other? What are the big ideas they explore when they think absolutely no one is watching? It's a world that's usually totally hidden, but every now and then, the curtain gets pulled back just a little bit.
And that's exactly our way in. We've actually gotten our hands on a script from more than a century ago, a play written and performed by the members of the super exclusive Bohemian Club. This script, this is our key. It's our window into how the elite saw the world, way back at the start of the 20th century.
Okay, so before we even get to the play itself, you gotta understand the stage. Because this isn't some theater in the city, this is the Bohemian Grove, a place where privacy is everything and tradition goes deep. So every summer, the club puts on what they call the Grove Play. And let me tell you, the scale is just massive. I mean, imagine an original musical score, huge sets built right into the side of a hill, and a cast made up of club members. We're talking industry titans, politicians, famous artists, all performing for each other under the stars. It's a tradition that's really unlike anything else. The specific play we're going to dig into is from 1909, and it's called St. Patrick at Tara. And as you're about to see, this wasn't just some one-and-done show. This thing actually had a life of its own. So it kicks off in 1909, right? But it doesn't just disappear. The very next year, its music is being performed by a symphony orchestra. Then in 1934, it gets revived, which was a huge deal for a Grove play. And after that, pretty much radio silence for decades, until a modern critic comes along and takes a completely fresh look. So this history gives us these two totally different ways of looking at the exact same play. And get this wasn't just some little blurb in a local paper. This is the Pacific Coast Music Review from 1910, announcing that the music from this secret play was part of a major symphony concert. So what does that tell you? It means the club and the public back then saw this as a serious, legitimate piece of art. All right, so what was this play actually about? Well, it was an epic. Set in 5th century Ireland, it's all about this huge historical turning point, the showdown between the old pagan faith and the arrival of Christianity. Now, just to get everyone on the same page, here are the key players. You've got the Arderai, who's basically the High King of all Ireland. You've got the Druids, the super powerful pagan priests. And the whole thing goes down on Beltane, this sacred fire festival. This is the world that St. Patrick is about to step into and just flip completely on its head. The entire story kicks off with this one incredible act of defiance. See, there's this ancient law. On Beltane, no one can light a fire until the Druids light theirs at the king's court. But miles away, St. Patrick lights his own Easter fire. This is a direct challenge, not just to the old gods, but to the king himself. It's a total act of spiritual and political rebellion. So, as you can imagine, things escalate fast. Patrick gets arrested, he's dragged in front of the High King, the Druids are furious, and they demand a trial by magic. And Patrick is like, bring it on. But here's the climax. He doesn't just do some magic trick. He summons the actual ghost of Ireland's greatest hero, Cuchulainn, who then says Patrick's god is the real deal. It's the ultimate mic drop. A giant cross appears on the hillside, and just like that, the old way of life is over. I mean, can't you just picture this? You're in a redwood grove, it's dark, there's firelight everywhere, and some captain of industry dressed as St. Patrick is chanting this line, trying to summon a ghost. This is pure high-stakes drama, and it was designed to just blow the audience away. And for almost 100 years, that was pretty much the story, an epic tale of faith winning the day. But then, in 2019, a writer named Felix Kent goes back and looks at the old Grove plays. And he sees something completely different. Whoa, from high art to a flat, pointless version of life? How in the world do you get from A to B? Well, Kent's whole point is that what seemed so deep and meaningful in 1909, well, to modern eyes, it just feels kind of empty and way too simple. So you've got these two totally different takes on the exact same play. On one side, the guys who made it thought they were telling this grand, universal story about progress and civilization. On the other side, the modern critic looks at it and just sees the blandness of a dominant narrative. Basically a story that just pats a powerful group on the back for what they already believe, without any real challenge or deep thought. So this brings us to the big question, doesn't it? Was this play a masterpiece, or was it basically propaganda? Was it real art, or just a way for powerful people to feel good about themselves? Unpacking that tells us a whole lot about how culture really works. The difference is just huge. The play's author literally thought he was tackling the most important subject in the history of modern civilization. He was holding up a mirror to what he saw as a fundamental truth about the world. But the critic, he looks at it and says, nope. He argues this isn't a mirror of the world at all. It's a mirror of a tiny bubble, showing men who create art that just tells them they're right, without ever having to deal with any real complexity. And that leaves us right here, with this one final nagging question. When we get one of these rare peeks inside a secret world like the Bohemian Grove, are we actually seeing how powerful people think? Or are we just seeing the carefully crafted story they want to tell, not just to the world, but maybe even to themselves?